Welcome back to the Hillbilly RV channel. Today, working on a Salem by Forest River travel trailer. We got several things to do to it. One of the things we got to do is we're going to winterize it. So I'm going to take you along for a winterize. I haven't done a winterize video for a while, and I think this is going to be a good one because it's a little older camper. I don't know how old. Let me see. Well, it's not that old. It's a 2017. But most of you modern campers anymore, you know, they've already got the winterizing hose and all that built in. This one does not. So show you how that goes. And you see my service truck. If you're new to my channel, this is not my service truck. If you've been with my channel for a while, my service truck is broke down. It has been broke down for, this is day 6. Got a lot of expensive parts ordered to try and get it going. I even hired a guy to help me with it. We knew it had an electrical issue or maybe a ECM, engine and control module, bad. So me and the guy I hired, we worked on it for big part of 3 days and testing everything and checking, and so couldn't find an issue with the wiring, so we had to make a call on ECM. So I have that ordered, and it's rather pricey and takes a little while to get it. So won't have that for several more days. So I'm working out of the pickup. So it is what it is. That's tough to do, but you do what you got to do, right? But hey, let's get started on this winterize. And hey, don't forget to go down in the show notes of this video, check out everything going on down there. Email, Facebook, the Amazon link. Thanks for everybody that goes to Amazon, buy stuff through my Amazon link. PayPal, Patreon, all that nonsense. So let's get started here. I just done a quick look around here, and I'll just show you. First thing you always want to do is just kind of walk around, familiarize yourself with where everything's at. Here's our city connection. I'll show you what we're going to do here in a little bit. There's our sewer valves and the sewer dump. Actually, typically, you know, if it were hooked up to sewer, the last thing I would do after winterizing one is pull the gray and the black valve and get everything out of the tanks. Yeah, this camper is new to them, and they don't really know whether there's anything in this tanks or whatever. The monitor, of course, the monitor panel for the black tank says it's 2/3 full, but you know how that goes. And they're supposed to be empty. They had it serviced in Texas before they brought it here to West Virginia, and supposedly the tanks were dumped, but we've already found some other things that were supposed to have been fixed that weren't, or whatever. You know, it is what it is. I would mention the name of the place they took it. They're not happy, so you figure it out. So yeah, we're just going to leave. We're not going to pull those valves because, like I say, he's just going to have a service come by and clean those tanks, suck them out, make sure they're empty. So they will let the antifreeze and whatever else might be in those tanks out at that time. So yes, super simple. The backside, outside of the water heater is right here. We'll work there in a minute. Actually, we'll go ahead and do that. I don't know what happened to the audio in this section, but one of the first things I usually do is just go ahead and drain that water heater. Now I felt that water heater. That water heater's hot, so that means that thing has been on. It's plugged into electric here at their house, so apparently it's been working on electric. So I am going to go inside and see if I can find the breaker. And well, I know I'll find it, but you never know. You never really know if it's the right breaker. Especially, you know, this camper is new to these folks, so they don't know anything about it. So there's no point in asking them if it's labeled correctly. So I go inside, find the breaker box, and cut the breaker off that was marked for the water heater. And then I got to thinking about it, and I ended up coming outside and actually cutting this switch off. This is a Suburban water heater, so it's got a little switch, a little rocker switch down in the lower left corner of the water heater outside. It says on off, and I don't typically mess with that switch because they're notorious to go bad, but since I don't really know anything about this camper yet, it's the first time I've ever winterized this one, I thought it best to just go ahead and cut that switch off when I came back outside. So now that the water heater's off, we know for a fact the electric's off. Just going to relieve the pressure in the water tank with the pop-off valve there, because you want to relieve that pressure before you pull that plug out. Trust me. Then get your do yourself a favor, get you the right size socket. Get on that plug. Get that plug out of there. Now this one here kind of surprised me a little bit when I got the plug out. Man, there was a bunch of junk in this tank. I don't know if it was. You'll see here. This is a Suburban water heater, so it has an anode rod, and all the covering was off that anode rod. So I don't know if those big chunks were that anode rod or what, but you'll see I actually have to poke the water out. Now that thing would gurgle like that forever with just that plug out, but if you'll open up the pop-off valve, typically if the water heater's not clogged up with big old chunks of white stuff like this one was, that water come right out after you pull the plug and open that pop-off valve. But I had to just keep poking the white stuff out. I'm gonna turn the camera down here on the ground here in just a second and show you some of that white junk that come out of this water heater. It was pretty impressive. Thought our water was bad around here. Look at the big chunks of stuff that came out of that water heater. There's big chunks of white stuff. That's wild. Well, in the spring, I believe I'm going to de-winterize this one because we got some other work that I didn't know about, and I didn't bring the proper stuff in my pickup. I don't have my service truck. If I had my service truck, I would have had everything I need no matter what came up, within reason, of course. So yeah, so like I say, we're going to de-winterize this. So this is one actually we're going to recommend that we really flush this water tank out very well in the spring. So we can just go ahead and close this door back up. We're done in here. I always just leave that plug out for the winter. That way we know for a fact it's not going to get any water in it this winter. It's not going to freeze up and bust. So yeah, so I just always leave that plug out. All right, so we drained all the water out of the water heater. Now we came inside and we need to flip these bypass valves so that our antifreeze will bypass the water heater. No point in putting, I don't know what size water heater that is, 6 or 10. No point in putting 6 or 10 gallons of antifreeze in there just to drain it back out. So we'll bypass the water heater by turning our winterized bypass valves into the winterized position. That way our antifreeze will come in, go right through this bypass, go right into the hot water lines, and bypass the water heater. That's how they come up with that name. So this is a 2-valve system. You might have a 1-valve system, you might have a 2-valve system, you might have a 3-valve system. So that's how you put this one in winterized position. And of course, as soon as we put antifreeze to it, we're going to have everything closed, and we'll know real quick if everything's in the right position because our water pump will build up pressure and shut right off. So you'll see that here in just a minute. So I went inside and opened up the faucet, and I went to the faucet farthest away from the city field. Now I've got a hand pump here that I use to get this water line here from here to the pump, because the water pump is about 8 or 10 feet towards the back of the camper on the opposite side. So you got all this water line between here and that water pump that if you don't put antifreeze in here with a hand pump, this water line will be missed and it can freeze and bust. So Let's go get my antifreeze open. RV antifreeze, of course. Never use automotive antifreeze. Always use RV. It's supposed to be non-toxic. Just put my hand, screw my hand pump right into the city fill fitting. Same as you would be putting a water hose on it. Hopefully there's a gasket in there. Let's put the other end of the pump down in the antifreeze where you can't see it, and we start pumping. You should see the antifreeze go through the line. Now I'm gonna just put, you know, quart and a half or so through there like this, because this is actually pretty hard to pump. It'd be really hard to pump if you forget to open up a faucet inside, because you won't be able to pump it. But that's all that thing is, just a hand pump. So we should have plenty of antifreeze now between here and the pump. This should just be a straight line from here over towards the pump, and so that should be good to go now. For the rest of this winterizing, we'll be working inside. Now this travel trailer here does not have a bypass hose already installed at the water pump, so we're gonna have to put my hose that I made up 20 some years ago and still using. We're gonna have to put it on the water pump. Now there's an arrow on the front of the water pump right there that tells you which way the water goes. So we want to put our antifreeze in the suction side. Oh yeah, I should have said too, we're putting it in the water pump so that we can pump it through the camper and winterize the camper. That's why we need to get access to the water pump. How did I find the water pump? I turned the switch on for the water pump and followed the noise, and it was inside this cabinet. So we just get this water line off. That's the suction line from out of the fresh water tank on this unit. Get my hose put on here. That's a tight fit, because why would they give you any extra room? I gotta move y'all out of the way. I'll get that hose on there and then we'll be right back. So anyhow, I got that hose on there just finger tight. We'll just drop this end of the hose right down in the gallon of antifreeze that we just put some in that city fill. Now we're going to turn the water pump on. I'll leave y'all here for just a second. Now I had closed that kitchen faucet, so it sucked in the antifreeze, it built up pressure, and it cut off. So we know there's nothing else on. We're not spraying water out of the shower or anything like that because the pump cut off. So yeah, usually you want to go around and check and make sure all the faucets are closed. But if you forget, that's another way to know whether or not everything's closed. Alright, so we're just going to come here to the kitchen sink, and we're going to turn on cold till it's nice and pink, and then we're going to go all the way to hot. See it turn clear again. Alright, that's good and pink. Alright, we're going to do this. If there's different circuits in the spray nozzle, we're going to do them also. Okay. So the spray nozzle's done. Now we're going to switch out our antifreeze jug for a fresh one, and then we're going to go to the bathroom. don't worry, this ain't going to waste. We'll use it here in a minute. Alright, let's travel to the bathroom. As we can see, it's just a travel trailer. There's no washer dryer or anything like that. So all we have is, you know, just the normal plumbing. Alright, let's start with the sink. Turn on the hot. See, it's running clear. And then the pink ought to come on here shortly. There's our pink. See, it took a while. Turn on the cold. It's probably going to be pink right away. Yep. I don't know why that is. Seems like the hot side takes a lot longer to get antifreeze than the cold side. We'll take our shower head, drop it down into the shower, and we're going to turn her hot, and it should be pink pretty quick. So there we go, nice and pink. Now we'll turn on the cold side. See, it got a little bit clear. Now it's getting nice and pink. That gallon is already gone. So I need to put another jug. Well, it's not gone, but my hose wasn't in the bottom of it. Very good. No biggie. Like I say, that ain't going to waste. I'll show you what we're going to do with that here in a minute. Let's go back to the bathroom. Now here's what everybody tends to forget. Commode. Let's raise the seat so we can see what's going on. Find the pedal. Okay. See, nice and pink already. Okay, so that is our commode, our vanity, our shower, and our kitchen sink. So now, what I like to do is go back and just do everything again. We'll pull it all the way to cold. Make sure it's nice and pink. Go all the way to hot. Make sure it's nice and pink. Push the sprayer. Alright, cut it off. That's done. I will write it on the receipt, and I will tell these folks in person too that I do not warrant the winterizing these single stem faucets, because for some reason, you know, these are household faucets. For some reason, those faucets do not winterize well. No matter how good you do, you saw that, you know, I've done it all the way hot, I've done it all the way cold, I even done the sprayer, done it twice, and still those single stem faucets just do not winterize well at all. So I don't warrant those. If that thing's frozen busted in the spring, I'm not going to pay for it, because I didn't design it and I didn't build it, and all I can do is the best I can do. And those things just do not winterize well for some reason. I learned that one the hard way. I winterized this guy's motorhome several years ago, and in the spring, his kitchen faucet was leaking, and come to find out, that was like a $1,400 faucet. I got a rebuild kit for it. If I remember right, I think the rebuild kit was like $400. So that was the last single stem kitchen faucet that I warrant when I winterize. Just because, like I say, I mean, you do the best you can do. And you know, something inside of some of those, there's a cavity in there where there's water, and the antifreeze can't get there for some reason, and those things will freeze on you. So now I'm just going to get this hose back off there, get the original water hose put back on that water pump, and then we'll be right back. Typically, I will use 3 gallons of antifreeze for a travel trailer. If you have a RV that has a dishwasher or a washer dryer or a washing machine, clothes washing machine, you'll use much more antifreeze. But 3 gallons, could I do it with 1? Maybe. Could do it with 2? Definitely. But for a price of a 1/3 gallon antifreeze, I know I've done it right. I do everything twice. And then I told you I'd show you what we're going to do with this leftover antifreeze. We're going to dump it down in the traps. Now we know that we got antifreeze in the traps, but again, you know, for the price of an extra gallon of antifreeze, we know for a fact that those traps are done well now. Let's go back in the bathroom. We don't have to worry about the commode because there's no trap in an RV commode, but we will do the vanity. And we're going to do the shower really well, just because the drain on the shower can sometimes be really difficult to access. So you really want to make sure that you get plenty of antifreeze in that shower drain. We can go ahead and hang our shower head back up there. Well, that memory card filled up while I was on site there. This is a little bit later, and I hope it recorded everything that I wanted to record. That's how that I winterize a travel trailer. Are there different ways? Oh yeah. Are there better ways? Maybe. But I show you how I do it, and that's all I can do. So hey, as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give my videos a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not. Share them with your friends. And I'm going to go up the road and fix another one. And y'all have a fantastic day.